Good evening, everyone. We'll just let Ian Foster open up with the words before we take some questions. Thank you.
Excuse me. We'll probably have two press conferences, one for the first 70 minutes and one for the next 10. So it was a game of drama, and to come away with a 25-all draw was probably something we're pretty disappointed with. I felt our first 70 to me, we really played the sort of rugby that we want to get to. We had a great tour, and we were pretty determined to come to this game against a team that was very physical against us 3 years ago, and we struggled to control the game line against, and thought tonight we did that really, really well, and put ourselves into a position that we should have been a little bit better, but credit to England, the way they came back, that card sort of galvanised them, and their performance in the last 10 is worthy of a lot of credit. But 25-all to finish the year, whilst it's frustrating, there was large parts of that performance I'm particularly proud of, and I think shows a lot of the progress we've made in the second half of this year.
Ian, what exactly did go wrong in those last 10 minutes?
Well, we went down one, clearly, and we'll probably have to pull it apart and have a look, but clearly they started to bend us. Once we're down to 14, they went wide, and we weren't able to stop them bending, and so we just got them on the front foot. It's probably the type of ball that they were trying to get from the start of the game and couldn't quite get it, but they certainly got it at the end. So, it's a good growth point for us. We've got to make sure we nail that. But, again, so it was disappointing, but they did what they had to do well, and we couldn't stop that in that last part.
Sam, there's a bit of a kick in the teeth to draw like that, given you're on track for a pretty comfortable win.
Yeah. Go from a few points up there, and then all of a sudden start leaking through the middle and around the edge, which is not nice. And the boys were definitely trying out there, and that's something that you never fault that. I thought that was really good from the guys, but we've just got to, as Fozzie said, we've got to pull it apart and look at why that happened, and come up with a few solutions, because we didn't out there, and that's why we come away with a 25-all draw.
What was your message at 25-18 when they just scored 2 tries? Was it to keep it in tight? What were you saying to your
it was more around accuracy. In those tight games that we've just experienced, you've got to make sure you still play, but you've got to be really accurate in what you do. So whether that's your ball carry, whether that's your cleaning, your passing, you don't want to give an opportunity, whether that's a penalty, etc. So that's all we were talking about, and the boys were really calm out there too. But it's different between being calm and actually doing it.
Does it feel like a loss, Ian, having got to that 25?
Oh, I think I said in the media after the game that we'll certainly, I think, be more disappointed than them. I think that we've got to, end of the day, it is a draw. We come and played some great rugby, and in our mind we should have walked away with a win, and we didn't get it in that last 10. But upon reflection, it's you can tell from us we're a little bit flat still, aren't we? But it's I loved the way we played for large parts of that game, and showed that we there's some of the things that we've been making good gains, and I think we're moving well. But shows we're not quite there yet, and in some ways it's not a bad spot to be. 8 months out, 10 months out from a pretty big tournament.
Ian, are you surprised England didn't try and go for the win at the end there? There were boos at full time from the people in the crowd.
Was I surprised?
Yeah?
Yeah, I was. All I know is if we flipped it over, I would have liked our guys to have a crack. So I'm not sure what their tactics were, but that also, to be fair to them, look, they were running hot for 7-8 minutes, weren't they? And things were going really well, and they probably felt like getting back to a draw was a massive achievement in that time, and so they probably decided to take it.
Very clearly structured all-butts game today, probably much more also when we saw it in Cardiff, you were looking very much to expose maybe a height advantage on the wings. Was that something that you were going very much into in your mind, to expose that with those wide out with the kicks?
Yep, it's something that we go in. We were certainly looking at it early, but it only becomes a weapon when you could actually get that front foot ball and you can actually start getting, I guess, your decision makers looking up. And I thought some of our ball carries in that condensed England a little bit more than what they would have wanted, and hats off to our drivers because they were able to see that.
And playing with both Bodie and Richard, it really gives you those options in terms of those vitality.
Yeah, it was good, and I think, particularly Bodie, I think on those kick passes, he's very, very good at it, and he sees that space. I thought we may have got a little bit clever in that second half. A couple of our exits, I would have, perhaps we could have been a little bit more predictable, if that's the word. But hey, when the guys were seeing stuff, and you want them to, and we encourage them to pull the trigger when they do that.
Ian, would you have preferred the side to wind down the clock in that last 2 minutes rather than give away?
No, I don't think you can wind the clock down for 2 minutes nowadays. I think it's the breakdown's too heavily officiated. They're looking hard at that, people sealing off, and inevitably if you try to break, if we tried to seal off the game for too long, I think you're going to concede a penalty in that space. I think, so I thought we actually did all that right. I thought Artie called for that little wee kick from TJ, but then he realised that by the time TJ kicked it, he was a metre in front, so we lost a chaser off that. So that was one of the exits I mentioned before, that we weren't as clinical as we needed to be. But no, I'm happy with the decisions.
Yeah, when you look back at the talk, if we said to you what 2 or 3 things that you know about yourselves now that you didn't know at the start, or what 2 or 3 things you're most pleased about, what would they be?
Well, we've climbed through a bit of adversity, this group. We've had to, I thought we started the rugby championship slow, but we'd made a lot of changes, and I think we really climbed really well through the latter part of that tournament. We came here with a real desire to play, Wales, Scotland, England, 3 different types of teams. We probably haven't had a clean sweep up here a lot in the last 7-8 years, and we also wanted to try to make sure we tried our solutions for some of the defensive systems up here. So overall, we're really pleased with a lot of the gains. I think you saw a very strong scrum tonight. I thought you saw a line-out maul that was strong. I thought we saw a kicking game and a carry game that had a bit of adventure to it, and we didn't get dominated on the game line. What we did learn, though, is that we've got a little bit to learn about the last 10 minutes and closing out a big test like that, because it was a game that I felt we should have had better control of in that last part. We didn't, and we got a yellow card, and so there's 2 or 3 really good lessons, and probably one that we'll give ourselves an uppercut for.